Greetings from REI 2025. My name is Michael Schmela. I'm the Managing Director of TaiyangNews, all about solar, and I'm very happy to be here at the Kosol, the Energy Engineers booth. This company is special. They are somewhat different from the many exciting companies that we're seeing here in India growing with the market. And I'm standing here with Kayan Kalthia, who's the Executive Director of Kosol. Kayan.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Just tell us a little bit about the journey, which has been a very rapid one for Kosol in the last few years.
Yeah. So as Kosol Energy, we started in 2012 with module manufacturing. Back then, because we always had a thought process of going mostly into automation, as automated as we can be, and getting the best bill of materials we can. We chose European at that time, and for our equipment and also a lot of our raw material. Like till I think 1.5 years ago, till we used back sheets, we had always used Tedlar-based back sheets. We were one of the only manufacturers in India actually who used Tedlar-based back sheets. And as soon as glass-to-glass became a viable option and we had done our testing and we were satisfied with it, we switched over completely. And even in that regards, when we did switch to TOPCon, which was only very recently, almost 6 or 8 months ago, the reason why we did so was after extensive testing, and we are still when it comes to the bill of materials, we are always staying a step ahead and keeping it as quality conscious as we can be. So currently, for example, all of our TOPCon modules, we use POE-POE only. And as a company level, whenever we are creating modules, as our capacity is 3.3 gigawatts right now, our philosophy has always been of a single BOM. So whether the module is being used for India, for US, or anywhere in the world, the bill of material will always stay the same, no matter what it is. And keeping that philosophy in mind, we have developed a brand name for ourselves as a brand which focuses on quality and has always delivered on whatever commitments we've made. And that is one of also a uniqueness of ours, because whenever we started off our journey, we were not very competitive, and the way we put ourselves into the market was always giving out energy guarantees. And we're one of the very few companies standing that can say that whatever energy guarantees we've given, we've always fulfilled our commitments. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. So there's a lot of buzz now about vertical integration. So everyone started with modules usually, and now the people are moving into cells. They're already talking about ingots, wafers. You have a different strategy.
Yes. We are vertically integrated and we are increasing the portfolio, but not for modules, or more of our EPC side. So, for example, all of the LV switchgear we have taken in-house. We are also coming in a large way in BESS, where we're setting up 10 gigawatt hours per annum production lines, 5 in Gujarat and 5 in south of India. And when it comes to the module side, the ecosystem is developing so quickly, and we are fortunate enough that we have been in the industry for so long that we have made very good partners and connects with everybody who is coming more and more into vertical integration. We have formed strong alliances with them. In REI, we signed 2 very large MOUs with our suppliers, and that is the way forward, where we want to focus on the module engineering and our execution path, and we want them to focus on their vertical integration and because as everybody knows, cell is a very complicated and technology-specific subject, and we believe our focus would be much more better given on the BESS and different RE sides too.
And you have also an interesting model for EPC, which you're doing. Just give us some background on this.
Sure. So, like I said, in 2012, when we started manufacturing, we had some of the best modules, some of the best equipments that was available out there. But what we ended up with was not a cost-competitive product in the Indian market. And the way we were able to carve a place out for ourselves was develop a niche on the EPC side, where we wanted to ensure that whoever customer we worked with, they got their ROI, their project made sense to them. So that's what we worked with them. We worked out energy guarantees, keeping all of our engineering and designing in mind, and doing that. So all the projects we've done, we've either signed a 10-year or a 5-year energy guarantee, and we've made all of that commitments come through. So some of our oldest projects, we are still there as an O&M, and we are working with our end user to ensure that they get the maximum profit out of it. Because ROI is done. Now it's just earning. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So sector is moving very, very quickly. So hard to predict the future. But if you try the crystal ball, so how do you see Kosol in 3 years from today?
So the way I see Kosol 3 years from today is having carved out a very good amount of market share in the sense of the growth of the Indian RE capacity. So India's RE capacity is a target of 500 gigawatt by 2030. I am very confident we'll be achieving it much before that time, and we will be a big contributor to that. Another part would be on RE power supply as well, where we plan on coming in a big way for green ammonia, green hydrogen. It is a technology that India has not lost faith in, as PM Modi's also vision stands very clear on where he wants India to go, and we'll be part of that vision and contributing to it as much as we can.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.